Welcome to my first video on PCPro. So the past week I've been doing PCPro Chapter 1 and some of Chapter 2, and I'm gonna go over some of that today. So first we did an introduction on how to use the PCPro interface, basically. We connected some components inside the computer, learned some basic facts about ports and adapters and converters and all the components in a computer. Um, then we then I moved on to Windows Basics, learned about how to use the Windows 10 interface, which I already knew because I use that all the time. But yeah, it was a good reminder and learned some stuff. Then we went on to Linux Basics. I learned some Linux commands that I didn't know before. Learned how to use the Linux operating system really. Went on to Mac OS, and it was just learning how to use the interface pretty much for that. Section Chapter 2, I learned about some protection and safety measures that you need to use when repairing and assembling computers. Learned some professionalism facts. Learned about some tools needed for PC repair and maintenance. And some good maintenance practices for when repairing a computer. So we're going to go into one of the labs that I did in chapter 2 here. Install a UPS, which is an uninterruptible power source, power supply. So this is the interface that we spent like the first section learning. So what I did was I pulled out the uninterruptible power supply, and I had to go around to the back of the computer and plug it in. I had to plug it in from the power supply here with all the cables, and I had to plug the printer into it, make sure not to plug it into the wrong thing, and then I scored the lab, and here's the last score report that we can actually see. So I did all this, did it all right, and got 100% on it and passed it. So that was a good lab that I enjoyed. It was really helpful to learn all that. Another lab I can pull up is a lab in chapter 1. There's a couple of them here I can pull up. So explore the lab interface. How about this one? We'll pull this one up. I'll pause the video until it's pulled up. Oh wait, no, there it is. Okay. So on this one I had to plug the computer in to the monitor so I could actually use it. Had to plug the power supply into the monitor, had to turn it on, turn on the PC, and I also had to plug inside of the PC. I had to plug in an Ethernet adapter, the RAM, and the SATA cables, and so that was good, and I learned a lot there that I didn't know. Um, then let's go to one more lab, and then we can go to my engineering notebook. So how about this one? This is one of the Linux ones where we use the Linux commands. And in this one, you just we just learned the commands in the previous like lesson here, and then you go into it and actually do it. So all I did was a shutdown in it, and then told them it's time for a shutdown. And then it's shutting down. Actually, it is not shutting down. I just typed in the wrong thing. That's fine. But anyway, what I meant to do was I forgot the 15. See, this is why it's important to go through this. And just like that, system shutting down in 15 minutes. So let's go to my notes next. Here's the notes that I had for the lab that I just showed you. Let's go to this one. This is a good one. So this is a bunch of facts about the Windows interface, a bunch of things that I might need to know. Like this arrow one, I had no idea about it. So I learned that, had to write that down. Um, Here's one, a bunch of ports and connectors in my notes, which are important because they're very similar but slightly different, and all of them do different things. So important to have notes on that. Uh, some extra notes I thought was important, and basically that's all. So thanks for watching the video, and I hope you got a good understanding of what we do in the PC Pro Labs and class.